down here this morning, what an absolutely beautiful morning. Well, the observant amongst you might notice something. No groynes. For those of you who don't recognise the place, I've come back up to Bridlington. High tide is 5:30. It is currently 4:10. Must be an extremely high tide. It's bizarre. But on the plus side, we have beautifully calm water. We have no wind, no rain, more importantly, and it's pleasantly cool. It's we're in the heat wave. At least I'm hoping we're in the heat wave. It's been 18 degrees over the last couple of days, and today is threatening to be the same. I'm going to have to stand up. And I needed to get back to the coast. So I had a scout around, and I thought, oh, Brid looks good. It's only an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And because it's a Saturday morning, I had things to do last night, so I didn't come up this evening. So it was a 1:30 alarm call again this morning. However, and I must admit, I am a smidge disappointed because there's no groynes. They're all underwater. But I might get up and do it again tomorrow morning, because tomorrow morning high tide is an hour later. That might work a little bit better. But I've not been here often enough to figure out what's high tide and what's not. Having said that, we have got a beautiful band of pastels coming up on the horizon. We have got a bit of a sea fret, which is minimising the horizon. I wasn't hopeful of any colour this morning. There's a little bit of pink coming up in the clouds to my left. But what I really like is the pastel band that you get above the cloud before you go up into the clear sky. So it's going to be a bit of a one-horse trip today, because all we have to shoot are the marker posts. And have to keep a very close eye on this tide. It is still coming in. Hey! Oh yes, I'm liking that. In fact, I'm just going to drop the exposure on that. Give me a second to get my knickers sorted out, and I'll talk you through what we're doing. Well, I could put the long lens on, but I thought I'd start off with the 17-55. I've got a 0.9. I think it's a medium grad, and the 0.6. I think it's the 0.6. Let's have a look, shall we? Yeah, that's the 0.6. The 0.6 ND filter, neutral density filter, because I felt the need to really smooth that water out. I did a test shot without the ND. And there was a little bit of motion in the water, but too much for it to be... too much for it to catch a smooth motion, and not enough for it to be smoothed out, if that makes sense. I know what I'm trying to say. I've had to come down really low because there's not much of the pole left that marker is sitting on. And it meant that if I was up here, the cage would have the horizon running through the middle of it. And I didn't fancy that. I wasn't sure how much of the horizon was going to disappear using the filters and with the sea fret. So I've dropped down low, and the marker post is about that much above the horizon, which is perfect. I could fiddle a little more and get it slap bang on the horizon, but I'm happy enough with that. I'm shooting at, where are we? We are at F9 and 30 seconds. I've got the white balance at 5,000 because it is quite blue. And I actually quite like it being blue. That sort of reflects what the morning is actually like. I'm keeping a beady eye on that tide because it is starting to creep up the beach. Yeah, if I whack it, I guess I'm forgetting I'm on the 6 stop, not the 10 stop. So yes, I'm going to leave that at around about 5,000 kelvins. I have the marker post slap bang centre. And ambient light's raised, so I'm going to drop the exposure down to 15 seconds and let that run. Oh, it's so nice to be here this morning. Little wispy clouds, just beginning to catch the light, but I don't think they're actually going to get any colour. They're getting brighter, but no sort of oranges or reds. That's better, yes. That's going to end up as a square crop. Quite like the idea of that as a square crop. And very minimal, we've just got lots of negative space. Either side of it, above and below it. And other than that, there isn't really a huge amount here that I can shoot. Thanks to the tide being considerably higher than I was expecting. So I'm just going to fire one more shot and then I'm going to wander down that way. Oh, excuse me. There's another marker post, surprisingly enough, just down there, which has more of the stanchion of its support pole sticking out of the water. There's also a wispy cloud up there which might line up better with that post. So I shall take a tootle off there and see what we can find. Well, as is often the case with me, I got a little bit distracted walking back down to the other marker post. And I'm kind of looking along the shore thinking, oh, if there's a rock, a little pebble, that might work, very minimal. And I found this white rock. No, I didn't place it there, it was already there. And I'm just waiting for the right wave to come in, surround it, get me some of that nice white foam dragging back but still being able to see the pebble. I've still got the 6-stop on. I'm a ISO 200 f4.5 and I'm at a second. Not quite enough foam on that one, but it works. I've got a bit of streakiness. That'll be a better one. I've taken the timer delay off. I'm not so sure about that one, because it's moved. That's kind of put an end to that one then, hasn't it? I was focusing on the pebble with the shallow depth of field and the fact I'm tilted quite a way down. Everything else in the distance was blurring out. I've cut out most of the sky, and the way I'm going to crop the image will get rid of the rest of the sky anyway, and there's only maybe the top half a centimetre of the frame as sky. But not only did it catch the white froth going around the pebble, it caught the wave action as it was coming in, and the water is that beautifully smooth, almost oily effect on it this morning. But now my pebble's been swept out, I can't do any more. Yes, right, so now I'm going to head off down there again and see if I can do anything with that marker post. It's a marker post kind of a day. I've made it! I've made it to the second marker post, and I can have the tripod up full height now. And I was looking for something that would give me something other than just the marker post, because yes, I do like minimal, I do like lots of negative space, but you can have too much of a good thing. And I'm wandering along, and I've seen a quite fair-sized rock just down here. You might just be able to see it's in frame. It's white, which sets it off quite nicely against the sand. And it is bizarrely perfectly in line with the marker post, which is now catching some beautiful light from the sun, which is blinding me, as you can see from my left. The sea fret is doing a fabulous job. of removing that horizon. And what I've been trying to do is fiddle and faff around with filters and shutter speeds and my timing, which is, as always, horrific, to get some streakiness around the rock, a little bit of smooth water, then the post, and then an empty sky, but oddly there's still a bit of interest in it. And I'm chattering away and going, oh, I've missed that one, oh, I've missed that one. I've dropped down to a 1 second shutter delay. Excuse me. I am on ISO 200, actually. I am on f8, that's better. I'm on 1 second. I'm desperate. 3 million shots later, I'm desperately trying to get some water all around the rock. Because I'm shooting at an angle along the shoreline, the water isn't always coming in bottom left-hand side. And I'm doing my best to wait for a wave that gives me lots of coverage all around the rock. That one might do it. Yeah, that's got a nice little wiggle line in across the rock. So there's a little bit of foreground interest. I'm not too concerned if the marker post is slightly out of focus, although it shouldn't be. F8, I'm fairly vertical. Yes. Yeah. And if I could get my timing right, it'd be even better. Oh, that's better, yes. Let me just have a quick... Yeah, I'm just starting to blow the left-hand side of the image, which is a bit frustrating, so I'm going to drop it down to 1/3 of a second. That's better. That's still giving me a bit of drag around the rock. It's catching the motion of the waves, slowing them down but not smoothing them out. The water is beautifully blue. It's wonderful. So I could spend hours doing this. In fact, I don't want to moan about it. I could. I am. And I'm trying to make sure that I don't get... It is very, very bright over to the left. That's the one. 1 second timer is making it easier. Yeah, because we've got waves going at a diagonal. Then we've got the upright post, we've got the water swirling around the rock. I've actually focused in on the rock itself. Yeah, the waves are catching some nice light. I did actually put the polarizer on to try and minimise the glare on the water, but because of the angle of the sun, it's not working particularly well. But you have to try. I know the rules of putting a polarizer on and what it can do to the sky, and I'm conscious that I don't want the sky to go really deep blue. Yeah, it's minimal, but there's a little bit more interest in it than just a marker post. Wonderful morning. So thank you very much for coming along. Hope you've had a good week. Hope next week is better. Enjoy the heat and take care. Don't dehydrate. And I will see you in 2 weeks. Toodaloo. Right, come on lazy bones, get that 10 stop popped on. Oh.